big exercise had been carefully planned, right down to the smallest detail. It was up to me as station adjutant to keep all the preparation going according to plan. And as the exercise had drawn nearer, so the sense of urgency had grown. Now, with the exercise right on top of us, I had to check around all the sections to make sure everything would be right. Everything was ready to go in the north of the country, but there was still some last-minute work being done on the aircraft at our base at Thornhill. From headquarters, there was just time to get back to the station for our own exercise briefing.
Sit down, please. Good morning, gentlemen. As you know, we're here to brief on the force exercise which starts at first light tomorrow. Exercise Vanguard will involve all our squadrons and a large number of VR units as well.
Around the country, temporary forward airfields had been set up in the bush and were ready to operate under emergency conditions. The exercise would last 6 days and would mean activity around the clock. The first mission would go off in the morning on a precision navigation sortie. Specific points would have to be covered along the route at exact timings.
Timing will be done by the police stations as usual. Throughout the week, the tempo will build up with key missions, fighter interceptors and transport support and resupply of the forward bases. There will be a parachute deployment over a selected target, and the week will wind up with concentrated attacks on simulated enemy positions on the range. Generally, the Trojans will act as forward air controllers, and all other aircraft will use cannon, bombs, guns, and rockets.
The exercise had begun. All the preparation was now over. The real work started, and the success or failure of the exercise rested squarely on the pilots and navigators flying the missions. The bombers taxied out that first morning for what was to be a low-level flight of 700 nautical miles over a series of timing points. By the time I got to the station operations room, the bombers were approaching their first timing point.
Oh, get me a pin there, Ian. Thanks. Yes, they should be at the first police station here in about 7 seconds.
Another mission was approaching the bombing range at the same time for the first attack of the week. 3 marker aircraft were out preparing the way for the bombers.
Train section, this is Marker Vino with 2 Trojans at the Provost. We're over the target, standing by to mark on time. Roger, Marker, we're 20 seconds out, standing by for your markers.
Steady, 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 target area dead ahead. Steady, steady, steady.
3 seconds, this is Marker C, marking is on now.
Marker sighted, turn left, 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 steady, steady there. Check safety switch. Check. Steady, steady, bomb gone. Bomb falling.
Roger, bomb falling, heading 119.
Roger, green, 119. Check safety switches on. On strike.
The fighter force came in afterwards to back up the bombers with strafing attacks.